We are live.
Hey everyone, this is Luck powering on. How goes it?
We're in our default PNGs today.
We are.
What a what a
Toe?
novelty. Yeah, I guess. That those words. What a novelty. Oh my god, I'm like glancing through all the different streams here. This requires some backstory. Why are we talking about Devil May Cry season 2, a show that like I don't think too many people care about outside of people
Not
who
really.
go out of their way to trash it.
Vitriolically,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's mostly
It's because Lady's hot, right? That's why.
so. Last year, around the time I was trying to get into like doing like a few like
Commentary.
a few like actual like timely videos and streams and reviews. Trying to do a few here and there, not like all the time, but we did like a Superman one, a How to Train Your Dragon live action one, those. We decided to, on a whim, watch season 1 of Devil May Cry, inspired at least partially by what I noticed as just a very interesting response that it got. Um,
Very interesting fan base too.
yeah, yeah. So you had a lot of game fans who really, really did not like season 1 for one reason or another. And I found a lot of their criticisms to be
Lacking.
interesting. Yeah, lacking, really, more is the correct word. But interesting, I guess, is maybe a kinder word for it. A lot of them seem to be mostly just upset that it wasn't exactly like the games, or that it diverged in one way or another, and they weren't all that interested in the actual story being told. And then you also had some people that seemed to dislike it for like puritanical reasons. I noticed a lot of people being like, oh, it like hates Christians, oh, lady curses too much, this and that. And yeah, I found it all to be interesting, especially since I think at the time that was around when my has been video was first knocking around in my head. So it became a few
Yeah,
it spawned a
kind
few
of around
talking
then.
points that would then kind
Get
of
workshopped into it.
it would get workshopped into that video in the end. Let me here we go. I want to keep an eye there. Um Rather than tabbing back and forth. So we made our stream in which I somewhat facetiously said, I think I titled it like Devil May Cry, Netflix Devil May Cry is good, fuck you. Is good, actually, fuck you. So something of those, something of that. We like it's somewhat facetiously we titled it that, even though I think our final our final thoughts was that it was like pretty good, like
It was solid.
actions a fun action series that is maybe not doing anything super special, but is worth a shot if you want your Castlevania fix, if you're still waiting for the next season of that to come out. And
And
oh yeah.
I was gonna say, like, overall, I think it's still pretty enjoyable, especially if you kind of stay away from some of the online circles of it.
It's never worth it to listen to online reviews, including this one. No, 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 no. Please stay with us. Please stay with us. Uh, okay, I told Luck I would do this when we were watching last night, because especially as we're watching the first few episodes, it's like a lot to take in season 2. They throw a
Mhm.
lot at you really quickly. Again, that has a lot to do with, and I talk about this all the time, the fact that streaming tends to give smaller seasons than what was normal even just a few years ago, and that as a result, a lot of new shows have pacing that's kind of fucked. It's getting to the point where it's so ubiquitous, I barely think it's worth talking about anymore. But it does have a knock-on effect here for sure, where it's like the first few episodes are absolutely overwhelming, and I ended up going back to watch it a second time. I'm so fucking glad I did that, even though it obviously took a lot of time to do so. I spent pretty much my entire afternoon, some of my morning, trying to get that done today. But it was completely worth it, because funny enough, I think I assumed that for my second watch through that I would like it less, because of how many things in the story I was kind of like scratching my head at there, and how many things I was like, I'm not sure if that lands. What do they mean by this? What's going on here with this character motivation? Second run through, I honestly liked it way more.
Mm. I honestly feel like I would get a similar amount of enjoyment if I were to watch it a second time, only watch it the one, just because I think I was at least following enough for it to make sense for me plot-wise.
I was having a hard time sometimes for sure the first time. And also I think, and this was my mistake, this was my bad. I brought too many of my own expectations into the series as I was watching this season. I did not, so since the last season, I think I said that I would play the games. I ended up not, because I'm just not very good at action games. My bad, guys. I gave it my best shot, I promise. But I
She
did
did it.
familiarize my shut up. I did familiarize my shut the fuck up. I purchased
They
them.
didn't even play it on
I
stream.
purchased them.
You-
I
oh
purchased
yes, I
them. I
looked at the
purchased them. I
game.
played them on my PlayStation a little bit, and then I gave up after one level because it was really hard.
You know what? Do you know what this means? I'm gonna have to play them on stream for the both of
Yeah, I guess you're
us.
gonna have to do it. You're the gamer between us. Anyway,
It'd be so funny if I was gay, so I could make so many gamer jokes.
straight heterosexual boo.
Fuck, I'm the token hetero.
Anyway, I did familiarize myself a little bit with the lore, and I did as a result find myself with a certain amount of like expectations going in, and I think that was to my first go around's detriment at the end of the day. Um like I had certain assumptions about Virgil's character, I had certain assumptions about certain plot twists coming. Um it was in my second go through where I was able to basically get rid of those, just toss them all aside and just, take the story as what it is, that I was able to get
Mhm.
actually a lot more enjoyment out of it. Because I think even just as we were going, right, we were like theorizing, we were throwing back all this stuff back and forth, talking about like, oh, what's going on. Especially Virgil was like a big center of a lot of our of a lot of our talks, because a big thing about him in this season is that you are on purpose, you're not really supposed to understand what he's going to do at any given moment, and you're not, because like he's a very quiet character who does not really talk about his feelings or things like that out loud very much, so you are left to wonder what he's going to do, or even just which side he's on at any given moment. um
Yeah, because I was able to admit this. I feel like I was able to
which, by the way,
predict
we're going to
a
try and
few.
keep away from spoilers for the first half of this discussion, so keep that in mind going forward.
Gotcha. But I feel like I was able to predict a few story things going on until it came to Virgil. I
Yeah,
wasn't
you
able
kind
to
of
quite
toss, you kind of have
predict
to
it.
toss it aside with him.
Yeah, which I mean, personally, that's a-okay. I think it's a little better if the story does something that makes sense for the character that I didn't think of because I was thinking more of the tropes.
Honestly, though, I think the funniest thing about Virgil, really, at the end of the day, and I especially took this note in my second watch through, is that he is a very simple character, a deceptively simple character. He has a very black and white sense of morality, a very black and white sense of way of viewing the world. He is completely a might makes right character, just through and through, who has very few moments of introspection, honestly, throughout it. He is, what to quote OSP, simple in the way a blade is simple, and the way a sword is simple and to the point, um hey hey Titan Gaming, hey hey. And I think because of that, right, it would that's what tripped us up so much, because I think he presents himself as this very like intelligent, um like thoughtful person,
Yeah,
And
like I don't
yeah,
want to say Machiavellian because that implies some
he's
degrees of
not. He's
trickery.
really
He's
not.
not.
He's very simple, very straightforward, and your expectations about him make you have you take certain leaps that end up not being the case. Where it's like, honestly, when I watched the second time through, just knowing this about him, understanding this about him, every single thing he did made perfect sense. It all made exact perfect sense all the way into the end. And I won't talk about
According
the
to
end
his
quite yet.
worldview.
According to his entire might makes right worldview, it all make like any affection he has for other people almost feels incidental sometimes. Right? Even like his
Yeah,
even the few times where he like happens to help another character feels incidental.
like
He's only
honestly,
about
I feel
power,
like yeah, like
where he
honestly,
is in his
I
character
could
arc right now.
imagine a situation where if things were slightly different, he would not help that character.
It was kind of funny in that in between the two twins, Dante ends up not necessarily being the more complex character, but yeah, kind of being the more complex character. I think they're both very
He
interesting
has
in
more
their own
going on.
ways. They're very interesting in
Yeah.
their own ways. Dante is ironically the one that I think is more introspective and has more layers going on with him. Where Virgil is one very, maybe like two very straightforward layers.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah,
That sounds about right.
yeah, yeah. So this season basically takes place, directly after the last one. Dante is on ice. Lady is feeling all sorts of conflicted about it. The war, the invasion of on Hell slash
Mackay.
Mackay has started. And yeah.
Only American idiot. Dun, 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 dun.
Um think shit's looking pretty bad. Shit's looking pretty bad. Um
Mhm.
and a few key things too. Because I did not actually realize this on my first watch through, second watch through. This made a lot of things make a lot more sense. One, Mary is not really a or lady. She's at this point is exclusively going by lady. Whenever they call her Mary or Arkham, she is upset. So we're gonna stick with lady. Um she is unaware of a lot of the of
Backroom dealings.
a lot of the details of what happened in season 1, including the massacre of the people living in that in the White Rabbits
The
building.
Mackay. Yeah.
Yeah. She's completely unaware of a lot of that stuff. She's currently back with Darkom slash the military, and she's working as their like special black ops gal, basically, on like a special mission to recover the MacGuffin of the season. This chalice. There's these like 4 arcana. There are 4, right? I'm not mistaken, or was it 5?
4.
It's 4.
There was 4. There was the staff, the chalice, the coin, and
Only 2
the
actually matter. That's the chalice and then the coin that later gets switcherooed. Those are the only two. Those are the only 2 that matter.
yeah.
Um and they're all entirely interchangeable. If anything, it seemed like mostly the only reason why they were 4 is probably because that was directly a game thing. From what I understand, this season is pretty much directly adapting DMC2, pretty
Ah.
much directly, where the first season was like a little bit of manga, a little bit of DMC3, a little bit of everything kind of splashed in there. This is
A
like
hodgepodge.
DMC2 all the way. Which is funny because DMC2 is, from what I understand, a game that is not well liked amongst the fan base. They like that one so little that I think more or less DMC3, why it's so different, was basically like an apology.
Mm.
They like it so they like DMC2 so little that I will see many people just say just skip right to 3 and then play DMC2 once you're a little bit more into the fan base. But also that makes sense because it's like I think chronologically like 3, 1, 2, 4, 5.
Honestly, what I've heard from the Devil May Cry series is I think it was like Rebirth. Basically, they tried to like reboot the series and everyone hated it.
Yeah, there's whenever they do reboot at all, everyone hates it. Um, I actually I don't know how about like the the reboot game. I don't know if it's actually good or bad on its own. There are a few things it does that I don't like, even as a non-fan. Like, one, they changed Dante's whole look and vibe.
Oh,
Are you aware of
oh,
that?
okay. I thought they had a new character, not that was
Oh, you didn't
Dante.
realize that was Dante? You didn't realize
I
that's
did
supposed to be
not.
Dante? The brown crew cut man who looks like Dean Winchester. You didn't realize that's
Yeah, I thought
Dante?
that was just a new character.
No, that's Dante. People do not appreciate that. They want their white-haired baby girl back. They do not like or know this man.
Honestly, agreed.
But as far as I know, the game and story itself, I have yet to hear any strong opinions about it aside from just that it's very different and that it was like probably kind of ill-conceived as like a new ground zero canon. You know, probably one of those where if they just didn't call it Devil May Cry, probably would have been just fine. But they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
The Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts effect, I see.
Yeah.
Probably fine game, bad game for that franchise.
Yeah. But even I, as someone who is again, I made the background and thumbnail the Dante Chun-Li outfit. I clearly have brainworms about this man. I agree. He needs to stay as is. We like the way he looks. We do like it.
In fact, he needs to be more feminized.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You should hear me and Lux after dark conversations.
The people mustn't know.
They mustn't know. They mustn't know my AO3 history.
I mean, I feel like they might be able to take a little bit of a guess due to the fact that you openly have talked about being a Hetalia fan.
Oh no. Okay. Let's move from past that. Lady does her Metal Gear. Lady does her Black Ops stint in her Metal Gear
Sneaky.
fit. She's in her solid Snake fit. We like that. We like it. Lady is just is quite hot in this one. I must admit, she really is.
Oh, she's been hot since season 1.
She really is. There's like one scene in particular where she's like lifting weights, and I was like, oh wow, I'm feeling a little something. I'm feeling a little something.
My heart skipped a beat. I actively barked.
Oh yeah. No, she's pretty good in this one. My opinions about her character in the Netflix version go up and down, but like she remains to be
overall she's fine.
Incredibly fine.
Yeah.
I'll say second watch through gained me some points. Gained her some points because again I actually wasn't sure. I literally wasn't sure if she knew about the massacre at the about the massacre at the apartments. I didn't know if she knew about that or not. Now when I watched through the second time, realized she definitely didn't. That got me a little bit more on her side because at first I was like, why is she still working with Darkholm? Why would she still be working with these people after everything that happened? Why is she not immediately trying to leave? They like dangle a promotion at her in order to get her to stay a little longer after the whole mission in which she takes the MacGuffin, because they put like a whole squadron of soldiers in a really cool, very metal sequence as like bait, basically.
Hold on, I think you're underselling it. It's not a whole squadron.
Oh, it's like it's a whole fucking.
It's an army.
It's an army.
Yeah, the
entire army.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm sure there's like a military, technically, like a platoon or brigade, or I don't know the fucking sizes. Yeah. But basically, a lot of dudes were literally thrown at the enemy gate just to be a distraction. Of course, they all died.
Yeah, she almost leaves, comes back because they dangle a promotion at her, and she's still under the impression that she can change things from the inside. And that she does that was confusing to me again until I realized that she didn't have all the facts really. So that gained her a small pass for me, even though I in general think this series is like, okay, so the series is pretty anti the US military as an institution, which
I feel like it's just kind of anti-US as an institution, which also based.
But
specifically like, more the military industrial complex, but yes.
But like it does have a decent amount of sympathy for the troops, for like soldiers. It empathizes with them quite a bit, at least, like, believing in the morality of some of the
The
virtues. And so
average.
yeah, like loyalty being a good virtue, being like, not necessarily a bad thing to have enough loyalty to your country to want to do something like that. um I tend to be a lot more cynical about it personally, but that's something that I think I have to just recognize as a personal bias, if anything. Which I think is
Yeah,
also why
because
Lady for me just has an uphill battle sometimes. This version has an uphill battle with getting on my good side.
yeah, I would say with this season as well, they didn't exactly show regular troops kind of doing anything that bad, unlike last season where it's like, the whole infiltrating that one building thing.
While they do still show Lady's whole crew, we do get to meet them a bit, and they are like humanized somewhat. But I think just neither of us were all that compelled by them at the end of the day. It just fell a little flat.
Yeah,
This is also where I say this show has layers to it as far as like its quality. It's not necessarily a masterpiece. It's not necessarily, but it's also not the piece of shit that some people have been making it out to be.
yeah, I think overall the show is kind of good. Not gonna say it's like actively very good. You should watch it, like I would with Pluto. You should watch it.
That's
It's just
later.
like I
That's
enjoyed it.
Wait, save that for end of next week when I have more progress on that video done.
Oh, of course, of course. For me, with this Devil May Cry anime, I liked it. Should you watch it? I don't know if you wanna. I'm not gonna actively try selling you on it, but it was good for me.
I will try actively selling them a bit on this season, though, I think. Especially when we get to big talks about Dante and Virgil and their dynamic in this, which I think is the absolute highlight of this season and absolutely a reason to give this a shot for sure. Like, their dynamic, their story is like on the level of Shakespearean tragedy, and it is presented very, very well. Again,
Hmm.
when the kind of convoluted bad guy plot isn't getting in its way.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Let me kind of rephrase what I was trying to get across. I'm not going to push people to do it, but I'm still going to say it's not that bad. You should watch it at the very least if you kind of already are thinking about it.
Don't
But I'm
don't
not
let
going
the
to do the sales pitch.
don't let those gamers convince you that this is not worth your time. Is honestly my main thing. Judge it for yourself.
You have eyes. You probably have a Netflix account or someone who does have one.
Hmm. And Titan Gaming, no, we have not played Devil May Cry. I am considering doing so for stream. I tried to do so on my own some time ago, but it turns out I'm real bad at action games, and I need a lot of time if I'm to probably try and play through it properly.
So instead, what's probably going to happen is I'm going to see if the game's on Steam, see if it's on sale. Well, one of the games.
I'd like to get it for PlayStation
If it is
also.
appropriately on sale, then maybe I will buy it and play it with Lily.
I think like everyone's favorite is DMC3, from what I understand. Yeah. We'll probably like we'll see. It's gonna go on the list. We have enough streams scheduled for now. We don't need another big stream schedule.
Yeah, and heck, I already was planning on more selling Epic Mickey for our next thing after the Kingdom Hearts
If
franchise.
anything, I'm considering at some point getting around to playing it privately once I'm finished with the Claire Obscure. To get back to Claire Obscure.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
fucking
that's
hard.
fun.
That's a fucking hard game. I took such a hiatus from it. The longer the hiatus goes on, the more afraid I am that I'm gonna get curb stomped the second I try and get back into it. So difficult. Um. mm. But yeah. DMC 2 season 2 adapting DMC 3 with some elements of DMC 2. I mean, I was more in the impression it was mostly DMC 2, a little less DMC 3, but I understand. I think we're still not even technically in the plot of DMC 3, are we? Because Professor Arkham, Mary's dad, is like really important to that, and we've really only barely scratched the surface with him. So we still got a ways to go. But a lot of the final, again, we won't go into too much details because spoilers. We want to avoid those for now.
Spoiler
A
section.
lot of the final confrontation that happens in this season, from what I understand, is like that's all DMC3. That's like heavy DMC3.
Which I know nothing of the game still.
Haha.
Uh,
We'll learn you a thing or two. Um, any more general things I can speak of? I mean, I kind of want to just talk about like Dante and Virgil as characters and like their whole like parallel thing here because it's really neat. I feel like
oh,
the second
talk
that gets
talk about
unlocked,
your
I'm gonna like
Shakespearean.
go into it, right?
Yeah.
So you talked a bit about how Virgil's a very simple character, like very straightforward at the end of the day, and how a lot of that colors uh his actions. Um so Dante and Virgil are completely foils against each other, right? They are you know what a foil is, right? Two characters that are meant to compare and that you as a viewer are meant to compare and contrast with each other. Similar in some ways but very different in others. In this case, literally related, same upbringing, same face basically. But each
Different
one
trajectory.
as we see a flashback of them as children in which each of them are presented as having something that the other one wants, right? Dante has these amazing physical abilities. Um he's the one where a lot of the like physicality of being a demon or half demon seems to come really naturally to him, where Virgil is the more human sensitive one that seems to have more of their mom's attention, and Dante is jealous of that. Virgil wishes he was stronger, wishes he was more demon. Dante wants connection, wishes he was more human. And this persists throughout their adulthoods. There's a big theme in the series, honestly, of in the season of like these characters more or less just being like big versions of the scared, hurt little children that they were so long ago. Mary says it almost, or Lady says it almost directly. I need to adjust to calling her Lady again after the season. Lady says it like very directly in the last episode in circumstances that I won't describe. But you can definitely feel that with the way that the ending sequence is. The ending sequence being like pictures of all of their like destroyed homes, and then they will like slowly over the season will like include
Bad
like
memories.
yeah we'll add like a like projection of like them of like each of these characters like as kids in their happy childhoods um before everything went wrong. So yeah, you have these two characters, right, who are wanting who are wanting something that the other seems to have at first, and then this progresses into adulthood as just this like incredible emptiness kind of in the two of them, right? You have Virgil, who is living in Mackay, who's working for Mundus, who turns out is like we all thought he was playing Mundus or that he was faking it or was being brainwashed or something to that effect. He's not. He's working for Mundus more or less of his free will, though he has been tricked by him,
Operating off of a lie.
operating off of a lie, but it's more or less off of his free will. Um and he's kind of struggling in his own right. You can see him posturing against the other demons a lot of the time. You can see him just doing almost everything he can to just present a certain level of strength, this clear desire to be a bit more demon. And a part of why he aligns himself with Mundus is that he feels like Mundus is the most demon that is out there, the king of demons. He believes he's earned that title.
Yeah,
And
plus there's also a sense of validation he gets of being Macayan from Mundus, because Mundus is the one who's like, yeah, son of Sparta, you're a Macayan, man. Like, you're one with us. And I'm pretty sure Virgil kind of thrives off of that.
oh,
He's like the
absolutely.
only one who gives him that recognition.
Absolutely. He really craves recognition at the end of the day. Again, he's still kind of the scared little kid that just wants his mom to look at him. At the end of the day, he really is. Um and you see him operate off of Mundus's philosophy, that you'll literally see flashbacks of Mundus telling him like, devils don't cry, like, might makes right, you need power in order to, I was able to do what I did because I had the power to do so. And Virgil will almost quote him word for word, like throughout the season.
Basically, he's really adopted that philosophy of those with strength shape the world.
He views himself as having been victimized as a kid because he did not have the strength to stop these demons that did this to him.
He called his mother weak multiple times.
Mhm. And he has adopted that into his philosophy of just like, then I will just be the strongest person, I will ally myself with the strongest people, and when they no longer have use to me, I will supersede them. And like, it's oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the list is like infinite as far as rivalries like this go. I do have a
But
lot of,
foils.
yeah, I do have a lot of fondness for this one in particular, though, I must admit. Right, and then on the other hand, you especially since like it isn't so much as just that they're different, but it is literally that they like want very different things, right? So I mean, I guess there's some similarities there with especially Sonic and Shadow, where it's like Dante being a character who is profoundly lonely, who grew up without many connections to other people because he was half human, because he was different. Like, not even his own mother. His own mother seem to have had more affinity with the more
Preference.
human kid.
Yeah.
Um, grows up just like profoundly alone. Pretty much everyone he's ever loved like either dies or leaves him. And
It's kind of a running joke at this point.
yeah. So him being this character who just lives in that tragedy, and then their choices being, once you understand them, being so predictable in that way, in a way that is very Shakespearean, right? Like, that's what makes a good Shakespearean tragedy, not just that it's real sad, but that the sadness almost feels inevitable because you understand what the character needs and even what they want, but that their nature means that they necessarily have to make choices that are bad for them almost.
Reminds me of Arcane in that way of things could change so much for the better if a character did something different.
If the
But
character
it
was
is
not who they
because
were.
yeah, but it is because this character is who they are that things are like this, and why they will continue to be like this.
Which brings us to an interesting line that happens at the end. It's a game line, so I hope it's okay to say, but Virgil does have that line of
Baby devils may cry.
he has
Jackpot.
he has that line of how would things have been if if on that day our positions had been switched, would our lives have been switched as well, something to that effect. I didn't write it down exactly.
It's something destiny swapping if things had gone differently.
Yeah, it's a moment of introspection for him that's kind of rare within the season, in which he seems to recognize that what he's doing is maybe not the best thing for him, but that he has to do it still. From DMC5. Okay. Um, it's a and it's a line it's a line. Oh, I've been presented with a slice of watermelon.
Ooh, tasty.
Yay.
I want a watermelon.
Put this aside for now. This is teetering precariously. It's a line that shows a bit of introspection there, and that also really shows I don't know, just kind of shows off this conflict here a bit of just of how integral who they are as people is really to this tragedy playing out.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, what if they had completely different lives? What if everything had switched? What if they
What
were
if the softer one was put in the human position?
yeah, what if they were just completely different people? Then what if, that's the that's
Exactly.
the that's the sad part of it. That's the tragedy. Oh, let me see, connections going up and down a little bit. Are we okay?
Oop.
We okay? Yeah, we're fine
Oh,
probably.
according to Titan, it is from
Yeah,
DMC5.
yeah. I mentioned that when I saw it. That sounds about right.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I think honestly the way that they're presented as characters is pretty much 10 out of 10. It's absolutely fantastic. You feel the pain and the heartbreak in it, and the way the character interactions with the heroes is pretty much like everything. I mean, calling Virgil a hero feels generous. He almost operates as a villain in this. He's a protagonist only in that he is supposed to be, I guess. But he's not
Yeah,
really doing anything particularly heroic.
heal. Oh, that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I would struggle to say he's evil as well. An antagonist
He's
at
not evil, but
times,
he's also
but
definitely
not evil.
not a character that operates in a moral way or what you'd recognize as a moral human way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if anything, that's honestly some of the struggle that I had with the first go around, where I think I was expecting that. I was expecting some kind of glimmer there, but he is completely going off of his own Machian moral code there. Might makes right pseudo fascist moral code.
Yeah.
And so
Which
yeah.
which if I remember right, I think I heard something along the lines of something something fantasy races don't have black white morality, sometimes it's orange blue.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So just because of that, it's hard to conceptualize him as a I mean, he is a protagonist, but as a hero for now. Um, as far as the interactions between him, Lady, Dante goes, it's all like just absolutely amazing. Like it's so good, and it's a big chunk of this season. Like it's the most important chunk for sure.
I
So just
love seeing
yeah,
them interact.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's so sad, and it's so heartrending, and it is like it's probably gonna like stay in my head for a good little while. Again, the issue comes in with how honestly how much of like a nothing burger of a villain we had this go around, right? Like especially comparing him to the White Rabbit, who from last season was that season's
It's because
highlight.
there wasn't the personal stakes.
There were very few personal stakes. They threaten to have personal stakes every now and again, but they kind of double back on that, and I want to leave that for spoilers still. Have we seen K-pop Demon Hunters? Yeah, we both seen K-pop Demon Hunters.
I'm kind of
Um
surprised we haven't talked about it more.
yeah, I think it's cuz we both thought it was like it's growing on me. The more I rewatch it, the more it grows on me, but it's still like I don't know.
It's fine.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. I assume you mentioned it as a point of comparison. I'm trying to think of what your point of comparison might be. And having a hard time a little bit. Do you know goes through a
Previous
similar
topic.
villain arc as Game Virgil? Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't really know King
Interesting.
Virgil. I'm just not kind of saying yeah.
Virgil here feels like his arc has basically just started for sure. So commenting much further than I think we have, um, I don't think we can outside of like basically speculation beyond this point.
Mhm.
Um, but like, but yeah. Honestly, I think from here on out, probably the next best thing to talk about would be Dante and Lady's relationship, because their relationship also goes through quite a roller coaster in this one.
How best to sum up their relation?
Hmm. I
I don't
do we
want
have
to
to
say
raise the spoiler embargo from here on out and just say like, yes,
we
now is the time, go
probably
watch it.
will.
Now is the time, go watch it.
Yeah,
We liked
I
it.
think that was the
We think you should give it a shot. It may not be your favorite thing, but we think you should give it a shot, obviously. And in Titan, I'm assuming you've seen it, considering how you're talking about it.
Mhm.
think it's time.
Yeah.
I think yeah. Go give it a shot. Come back to us. Um.
Yeah.
So
I'm
Lady and
I'm
Dante.
pretty sure Lady and Dante. I'm pretty sure I'm using this incorrectly, but it feels adjacent to this. Trauma bonded.
Oh no,
Like
that's
not
correct. No, that's
oh,
correct.
okay, okay.
I mean, maybe not 100%. Usually, trauma bonding refers to people going
The shared
through a
experience.
shared. This is they went through similar experiences.
Yeah, like I
Um,
said, it's adjacent.
yeah, it's adjacent. No, and she literally states that later on, saying that we came together because the two hurt kids inside of us felt
Mm.
were seen. I felt seen by someone who understood what I had gone through. It was a brief refuge. That sorry if that's a spoiler for how it
We
ends.
we already we
Yeah,
already
we're
said the
spoiler
thing.
embargo raised. Spoiler embargo raised. Um, they kiss. We get a kiss scene. We get Dante X Lady confirmed. They have an adorable montage in which they
With the
babysit a
child.
small they babysit a small girl child. She is adorable. Um Dante wears the Chun-Li outfit.
Just look at the
Look
screen.
at the screen. Dante wears the Chun-Li outfit in that one. It's great. And they bang, which was
Like
the
it's
most unexpected
full
thing
on
for me.
fade to black, wake up, same bed.
Mm. I think because I'm so fucking used to a lot of like modern shows and TV and like movies being so goddamn sexless, I was surprised by it that it happened, even though it made perfect sense. Um,
Yeah,
and it was great. It was glorious. It was amazing. But somewhat
we both
predictably,
agreed on. Hmm.
somewhat predictably, it does not last.
Yeah, like honestly, sorry, bro, it wasn't gonna last. Listen, at best, you guys might have some swings in the future, but
Dante's
you're not gonna.
Dante's Dante's point in his arc right now is that he needs to be sad and lonely. That's the point
Yeah,
in his arc right now, so it wasn't gonna last. I compared him because in the scene where she leaves him, right? She's talking about how like he's the best of humanity and she belongs with the worst, and she has to like face her demons. She can't just let it go the same way he can. Like Dante, you're too good, you're too pure for this world for me. I'm gonna ruin your life, Dante, if I stay with you. It's too dangerous, Dante. And my brain, I was just like, this is like, so me and Luck, right? We have a whole series called Marvel Mondays right now, where we've been watching like every Marvel movie, not just the MCU, but every Marvel movie. So Fox included, like obscure Fantastic Four, unreleased movie included, all those, right? We watched the Sam
yes.
Raimi Spider-Man movie recently, and there's a scene at the end of it that kind of infuriates me, in which Pete leaves MJ, giving basically quoting Lady in this, being like, oh yes, the path I walk is too dangerous. I can't, she's so pure, I can't possibly involve her in this. I just had
This
this
loops
moment.
back to the crux of things of Dante is Mary Jane.
Dante is a superhero girlfriend, which makes hear me out, Lady Spider-Man, and here's the controversial one, Virgil Omni-Man. Tell
I'm in
me I
Spider-Man
am wrong.
anymore. You are wrong because Omni-Man goes through a very different arc of, I've learned human morality and I am now human.
Virgil isn't there yet.
This
Virgil isn't
bitch
there yet.
is. Are we sure that's
Virgil
his
isn't
arc?
there
Because
yet.
this seems like if Omni-Man went to the Flaction dimension, stayed there, and then got their morals. That's what this is.
Okay. Who do you cast Virgil as then? Who do you cast Virgil as? What's your take? What's your take?
Oh, it's so hard to cast him. Fuck, am I able to do Redeemed Goblin?
Redeemed Goblin.
I don't know, that's
Oh
like the
god.
closest. Hold on. Doc Ock.
Doc. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna stick to my guns. He's Omni Man. That's my take. Final answer. Let's go. No, no,
Listen,
no.
operates on his own morality, even though you think that there's some good in him, even sometimes helps Spider-Man out.
Uh,
But at the end of the day, he still has his own thing he's doing.
Honestly, that brings me to an interesting point here because
Yeah.
a funny thing about Dante that I've noticed is that he has a lot of female fans, right? Like I know some people just try to say like, it's just the people who are thirsty. Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but you shouldn't say it out loud. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
You're
kidding. I'm
not
kidding. I'm kidding.
wrong, but you're not entirely correct.
You're not entirely correct. Like, definitely that's an aspect of it. Like, he probably wouldn't be as popular as he was if he didn't look like he does. But there is also an aspect to the way he's written that is very femme coded. I'll say there's a few male characters out there that I would identify as being female coded in one way or another, where their storylines put them through what are more traditionally storylines that you put a female character through, or that they have
Just
struggles
like
or
Shadow.
issues. Honestly, Shadow's a good example. Shadow is
I
unironically a really good example. I was also going to
the
pull up
funny
Dick
thing is I
Grayson.
never that as well. I never was going to actually bring up Shadow until I watched the feminine horror of Shadow. I was like, am I growing a
Hannah
brain cell?
Hyperfixates. They have an amazing video about Shadow the Hedgehog describing
Look up the
how
feminine
he,
horror of
yeah,
Shadow the Hedgehog. That one
describing
I will
how
tell you.
describing how like Shadow's issues with bodily autonomy are the main reasons why he has such a large female fan base. And I would say that Dante's struggles with loneliness and with just wanting love and connection and his whole like
Personal
role as
life.
the superhero girlfriend almost that's constantly being abandoned by people who want to protect him or act as if they're trying to protect him by doing that also kind of casts him in a similar role where it's like I think these are all things. I mean, they're not things that men relate to. He also has a lot of female fans, but they're also things that female fans really strike a chord with them. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's that. I think that
Listen, I
explains
think
a big
female
part of it.
loneliness
Yeah.
and male loneliness are very different in terms of things.
They absolutely are, and Dante is not what I would call a like lonely man in that way. He has
He's a
very little
lonely
in
woman.
common. He is a lonely woman. Like he has very little in common with the like male loneliness guys. That's not really how it's being presented. He is a lonely woman. He is a lonely woman whose GF broke up with him because she wants to protect him from this horrible, horrible dark world. like,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you're absolutely right.
like. But yeah.
You right. You just right.
Mm-hmm. Um. So that's that whole arc and the whole tragedy of that because Mary in this whole lady in this whole season is Windows Defender, shut the fuck up. Lady in this whole season is like very lost. I'll say she's very lost, right? She's unsure about her loyalties with Darkham. She's finding out new horrible things about them every day, and is also someone who, again, she's very much a military gal. So she's very stuck in her loyalty, very stuck in her ways. Is not really like doesn't know how
Quick to
to
change
break
her views.
it doesn't know how to break free from that, and it is starting off in the season under the impression that working within the system actually works. Um,
Ha ha ha.
haha, very funny. That's a good one. That's a good one, lady. That's a good one. Uh, and she is throughout the season tested and pushed until she finally leaves and breaks away. But even amongst all that, she still kind of can't get rid of this feeling that she needs to make some balance somehow, right? She
Her
is
personal framework seems to be very stuck in a systematized way of thinking of the system is doing not well. but I can fix it. And then even further down the line, it's I will fix the system, not necessarily the system needs to be broken, you know?
And then later on, even after she more or less gives up on the system, it goes into, well, I have done some wrong and I have fucked up and caused some damage. So now I need to do these specific things to bring back the balance and to unfuck up some stuff and to make up for that and get the redemption. And then even later on, well, well, now I need to like go find this person. Now I need to go do this thing. She views it as
I
like
will
her
clean
needing.
up these mistakes.
Yeah, I need to clean up these mistakes. I need to like fix this, right? I need to fix these things.
She's taking all the responsibility on herself,
Mhm.
which reminds me of another character.
Uh-huh. Her and Virgil have a lot in common in this for sure. And even the way they go about their whole taking on responsibility is very funny. I described to Luck that Virgil is the type of person where it's like he will take on the burden, he will be self-sacrificing, will do
But it would be an
everything. He'll
asshole.
be an asshole about it though. He'll be an absolutely self-righteous, insufferable prick about it. That stands true until the very end. He is insufferable. It's great. And Lady is not all that far behind.
I mean, she's not an asshole about it. She's avoidant about it.
She Peter Parker's Dante here. She's Spider-Man's Dante.
She literally leaves this man a whole ass Dear John letter.
Oh my god. It was, I think me and Luck joke that if Dante was actually a female character, the trope would have gone full circle if he'd found out that he was pregnant after their encounter, and then she left him.
And then we looked at more memes, and then it was.
That's how it should have ended. That's how the season should have ended.
And then we looked at memes where it's even as a man, he will try pulling, I'm pregnant. Don't leave.
He's very breedable. I'll stand by this. I'll stand by this. I'll stand by this. I believe it firmly.
Call off AO3.
Okay. What are we like looking at our other like our other itemized notes here, right? Interesting little things that happened, like there was, I remember we saw the news story at the beginning. Oh yeah, unfortunate that like, okay, so funny thing with the season, right, with how quickly it came out after the last season, and all likelihood they had the script written probably like maybe even before it was ever approved fully. Like it came out within a year, which is pretty quick turnaround. About the same amount of turnaround Castlevania got when that was in like its heyday. Nocturne is taking more time because I think they're still waiting on like being approved for more seasons. But DMC was like, oh, just a year, it's back. That's very fast for a show that has this kind of production value, even with them limiting the episode counts. So inclined to say that probably script was written mid of last year, which is interesting because the world sucks. So some of it became relevant again, even though ostensibly this was parodying politics in like the Bush era.
Honestly, it pulled what the boys did. They're like, this is going to be so outlandish, no one's going to not know it's satire.
No, it's topical.
Oh no.
Oh no, it became topical because we live in a parody world.
We live in a society.
Yeah. So there's certain things that was like definitely directly reflecting like news stories, like, you know, the whole thing where like all the news channels are given the script by Ouroboros. And then they overlay all of them talking over each other, where you realize that there was like a recent thing that happened IRL with that, where it was found that a bunch of news channels were IRL given a script and someone edited them all together, and it's very eerie. It's very unsettling.
Yeah, and like, you know, that it's like, there's something deep going on here.
That one was definitely made as a direct reference. The indirect reference is the fact that oops, we're in another war with the Middle East. Oops. Wouldn't you fucking know? We've done it again.
oops, we're doing a war that's framed as a religious mission from God
Oh
in order to
no.
spread our way of life.
Every once in a while, I worry that that Vice President Baines is like, too on the nose. There were like several times where I was like, "Are we sure? Like this feels a little on the nose. This feels like a little much. This is and then like I'll just like turn on the news and then I'll realize, oh no, reality's just like this. Like, oh yeah, Ouroboros and Darkom. What sinister
In fact, they were little
names?
tame.
What sinister names? Like IRL, there's an organization called Palantir, a surveillance organization called Palantir. That exists. That's fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. like, like, oh my god. Vice President. I say President Baines because that's the sport. He becomes President Baines over the course of this.
Yeah,
Vice
Vice President Batman
Vice
became
President,
President Baines.
played by
Kevin
Kevin Conroy.
Conroy.
Yeah, the iconic Batman actor that passed away. I think DMC season 1 was like his last recorded role.
Interesting.
It was like one of the last ones. He's like a evangelical nut to the point where you had Christians saying that he is offensive, actually. And I'll see that too with Castlevania sometimes, which is very funny because Castlevania is just like very much just reflecting the actual history of the Catholic Church in that time. But whatever, I guess, fuck me, whatever.
Like honestly, it's kind of a realistic depiction, let's be honest.
These Project 2025 motherfuckers, or whatever they're calling it now. They're like this. They're like this. I don't know if you saw clips from a certain podcaster's memorial service, but like dead ass. They make Baines sound tame, legitimately. Like
at least Bates has conviction. Some of these people are doing it for the grift.
Is DMC season 2 kind of on the nose and fucking hokey? Yes, but life is worse.
Is life? I was gonna say, is life on the nose and hokey? Yes.
Life has been really on the nose and hokey. Life has been more so. So I'm almost willing to give it a pass. Like, I almost am. Almost again. I still think the villains in this season are like the weakest part of the show. I think losing Kevin Conroy to play Baines was
made him far less interesting.
Big L. I like him way less. For sure, I like him way less. It's a lot. All the topical stuff in this just gets more and more depressing the more you think about it. Genuinely.
I hate the way society currently is.
It is. Oh, and before, I don't know, I don't even think my take on, like, isn't it kind of offensive that Makai is a stand-in for the Middle East? I'm not even gonna, I gave my take in that for video 1. I gave my take there. Not worth rehashing. Outside of, I'll guess, I don't know, I'll give a single bullet point of it. The metaphor is not that like brown people are demons, it's that they are demonized. That's the point. If that went over your head, I
think I could sum it up as well. It's a pejorative.
Yeah, literally, it's literally in universe a pejorative. Like
the IRL is also a pejorative.
Yeah. Anyway, honestly, the way that they presented the caste system in the season honestly started to me having a lot of things kind of slide into place. It's still left mostly to implication. Though I'm someone who believes that, like, I don't think you need to like spell out every little bit of your lore in order to like make it make sense. I think you're allowed to leave certain things to implication or to the imagination. You don't have to be Tolkien and like give a whole 5-page aside about how this works and how this works and how this works. Tolkien was a freak. He wrote like 3 books ever.
Singular tree.
Tolkien wrote like 5 books ever in his whole lifetime. You don't want to do that. Um,
And yeah, it worked. If you know, I'm not going to take that rabbit
even
hole.
he didn't like that he was like that. He would ask his friend C.S. Lewis all the time, "How the fuck do you write so fast?"
And then C.S. Lewis said, "Lamau, I'm putting Santa in," and it's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill
C.S. Lewis
you."
said, "Get good, idiot."
They had a interesting friendship.
They did.
If I remember right, the actual thing about Santa, I think Tolkien had said like, I'm really upset about
He
that.
hated it.
Why are
He
you doing
hated
this?
it. He hated it.
I think he like threatened to like not talk to him for a little there.
Oh yeah. It was great.
Oh, it was funny.
Anyway, or even so yeah, the whole cast system in there I think is kind of interesting. This implication, right, that you have
Oh, a little bit of the fascist hierarchy of
yeah,
race.
yeah, and also that it's completely I mean, it was exactly what I assumed. What I was surprised that more people didn't assume, which is that it was just enforced by like power,
Mundus.
basically, right? It's not so much that
Yeah.
literally they're like different kinds and races of demons so much as it is, I mean, like a little bit that, but mostly just that you just have these very powerful ones that are, throwing their weight around a lot and making things a lot worse for everyone else.
Yeah,
um
because my interpretation of it was there is like certainly different kinds of Macayans, but it's not because they're these Macayans they're looked upon
it's
better.
not
It's
literally a
because
harsh
they happen to be stronger.
it's not literally a boring caste system so much as it is just based off of might makes right, which is said
Yeah.
very almost very
And
very explicitly here.
yeah, and this is entirely propped up by Mundus, who he himself positioned himself as, well, I'm the strongest, so I'm going to be on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Obey or get killed, idiot.
Now he does have a certain preoccupation with pure Machian blood, seeming to view half demons and the mixing of human and Machian blood as an abomination. More, he not only says that exactly, but he does. He gets eugenicsy about the language he uses around it.
I'm trying to remember. There was the one specific scene where it's just like, oh yeah, that is indeed there.
Mhm.
What was it?
It was like one of the last scenes. He starts trash talking Ava again, their mother.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something like a Machian is highborn as Sparta could not possibly feel love for such a lowly creature.
Mhm.
Something to those lines.
Oh yeah, shit. The villain's philosophy. This is a good moment to bring it up.
Mm,
The main villain Argosac believed in chaos, everyone, death, blood, fire, whatever.
mm,
Which is contrasted by Mundus, which is fascism.
yep.
There. Smart thing said. Okay,
Mm,
go on.
mm. Anarchists versus fascists. I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, honestly, the interesting thing too, and this is something that I noticed more in my second watch through, is that Argisax and Mundus are definitely supposed to be reflected in Dante and Virgil, right?
I actually didn't quite clock that.
Didn't
No.
clock that. Okay. There's the one scene where Arius has Dante restrained, where he is
We're
Argus.
not so different, you and
Yeah, he
I.
does the whole "you're not word." Yeah, yeah. He's saying like you're chaos incarnate, watching you fight. You were outmatched only by Argisax himself in the level of chaos on display here. And Dante says, "Fuck you, I hate you, die, chew."
Yeah,
Um,
and I remember that was the part where I said I feel like he just fundamentally misunderstands Dante.
thing is, like, he did because Dante at the end of the day, while he does enjoy a touch of chaos, he also very much likes people and likes the earth being as it is. He would not enjoy tons and tons of sacrifice, but there is still that little thread of parallel. So then it's interesting where you have Mundus and Virgil on the other hand, where Mundus is all about order and um fascism. Basically might makes right, and Virgil is also very much about that. Mundus says his whole speech, his whole spiel, um and Virgil comes back at him with a well, it's not like you said anything wrong,
Mhm.
basically. Right? He disagrees with him on the "you killed my mom, die, chew," but
He
he
more or less
doesn't
pulls.
disagree with him.
Yeah, he more or less pulls your ideology is based off of might makes right. Fuck you, I'm gonna be the might.
Yeah. No, die too. That kind of I
And then
think
it
is
becomes
that's
King of Hell or whatever.
that's where you get that's where you get the. I mean, we don't see how that fight ends because Dante gets yeeted out in a moment that's very DMC3. Um,
Mm.
but that's the parallels, right? You have Dante being Argisax, rejects him because of his own sentimentality. Virgil, being Mundus, rejects him because of his own sentimentality that he pretends he doesn't have.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought that's. I think I maintain that this season is very well constructed. At the end of the day, it all flows together really well in a way that is fun to analyze and think about. I just again wish that the villains weren't so fucking boring at the end of the day, and that Arius felt like he had any kind of consequence at the end of the day.
They work better as representations of ideas for our main characters to represent slash balance.
Them as characters themselves, like I almost like I don't know, I think of it and he almost feels superfluous to the like he's there to move the plot along. But beyond that, you really do not give a shit about him, and you are not all that concerned with him, his story, any of it. So
More or less.
yeah. It's like okay. What else do we got? What else do we got in our notes here? In our big bag of notes here.
I immediately clocked how they were going to lose the talisman, the Arcana,
Oh, yeah.
because I'm using this as a segue into a point.
Mhm.
So I feel when I was talking to Lily, I remember we had said like, "Oh yeah, I feel like so many times the show had gone left when we expected it to go a different way." But upon thinking about it in hindsight, I feel like most of that did apply to Virgil as a character because I feel like I was able to at least clock a few things, not necessarily lots or a moderate amount, just a few things. But I'm using this to say
Mhm.
a lot of the show wasn't exactly as I would have predicted it would go, and I enjoy that just because it still makes sense within how the characters were operating.
Now the funny thing about that is that I think Arius would agree with you. Okay, so something I noticed, especially on second watch through, is that right. So Arius, we made fun of it directly while watching, which is that he's one of those all according to Keikaku type of villains, right?
We
Where
literally made a Jinx quote about that. Yeah.
yeah, where he's one of those villains which the a kind that annoys me a lot of the times where it seems like everything is always according to plan, right? Where it's like he'll say like, "Oh, yes, we'll have this plan." And the character does something completely unexpected and he's like, "Actually, I did expect that." And we're right on track. And it feels a bit like plot clairvoyance, right? Like the character
Yeah.
does something that feels
Not because
incredibly
they're smart.
unlikely and then it turns out that was actually exactly what he expected.
Yeah, it's not because they're smart. It's because they know the script or whatever Red had said from OSP.
Except 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 after a certain
Arius.
point, after a certain point, Virgil starts doing some shit, and Arius is like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Yeah, there was one moment I remember where it's just like, wait, you saw the truth and you're still going against me? Yeah, fuck you.
There's a moment really early on where Virgil takes Ed Sullivan hostage
Oh, that's
and goes
right.
on TV and starts starts airing out all of Arius's dirty laundry and saying a bunch of shit about the Ouroboros
Yeah.
Corporation, and
And
Arius is like, "Cut the feed, cut the feed, cut the feed."
yeah, literally at first, Arius was like, oh, well, that's unexpected. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, fuck, oh shit, oh, fuck, oh shit.
Oh shit! Cut, cut, cut it, cut, cut, cut. No, no, we gotta go. Commercial. Let's go. What? That was very entertaining. That was incredibly entertaining to watch and realize
It
that you have this
was.
guy who has everything just lined in a row. He seems to be literally plot clairvoyant, and then Virgil comes in, who even we do not understand, and he just says, "Fuck your plans. I'm gonna do whatever." Actually, And it was great. Again, even though, and the funny thing is, my final conclusion is that Virgil is a very simple character. He is absolutely simple. If once you understand him, you know exactly what he's gonna do. It's not that, and none of it really comes across as surprising. Actually, on second watch, he's just a little freak. he's just
He's just built different.
he's just a little freak. It's great. But yeah, it's like you got I don't know. It's very funny to me that again, in between Dante and Virgil, I'm actually very convinced that Dante has the more robust inner monologue.
Yeah. Maybe that's also because Dante's like the primary POV.
Also, he's just so fucking sad, right? He's like
He is
he's
so
like this the world's saddest man.
sad.
So you just get a lot of layers with him as a result. You really understand his like various layered coping mechanisms and how he's someone who actually thinks and feels very deeply about things. He's just also someone who, like Virgil, has a really simple moral compass, but like in the other direction.
Hmm. Yeah.
He's someone that like pretends to not be bothered by things, but actually he's bothered by like everything all the time, all at once.
Yeah. In fact, him and Lady had that one dialogue of like, yeah, this is kind of all an act, isn't it, dude?
He's like, yeah, damn.
It's just like, yeah, kind of is. Want to bang? The joke is this was literally the scene before they actually did bang.
Bang, and then she says, "Yep, brought my strap."
Oh, and here I thought she used ebony and ivory.
Now that's to be discussed beforehand. Um, no, what do we got? Funny thing. I've seen people go back and forth as to whether they like the stylistic elements of the show. I think the show looks really good. They really know where to use their budget, right? You have a lot of the more tense emotional interactions. Those tend to the more intense emotional fights tend to be more scaled back, and they still utilize a lot of really like showy moments. Virgil honestly gets a lot of those showy aura farm moments, though Dante has one really notable one where he like reloads a gun in the most improbable way possible. It's great.
Listen, Dante had his aura in season one.
Oh yeah, he still had some aura in this one. I saw like
he
he
had
rides
more
a bazooka
specifically-
around like a skateboard.
And that's like the final episode. I mean, like, they propped up those moments more in season one, you know? But it's kind of funny. Lily and I were actually joking about, like, yeah, that fight scene isn't exactly well animated. Like, yeah, it wasn't. Maybe they were holding off because they knew the emotional tension mattered more than the fight. And then we get into, like, 3 scenes later, they do the fucking gun reloading, like, that's where the budget wins.
So good. I watched back that scene just again, just later, just like, oh, that's perfect. That's so perfect. You just save
We've
that
sent each
clip.
other variations of it on TikTok.
Oh yeah. The music is to me a lot of fun. And we did this
What Daredevil wanted to be.
We did this season the biggest favor on the fucking planet by watching Daredevil, the 2003 Ben Affleck Daredevil, like a few days prior, which is such an ass movie. It has a lot of needle drops and they're all horrible. Save for like one which is only good because it's funny. The Evanescence Wake Me Up Inside one. Where this one, honestly, almost all of them hit just exactly as it should have. There were maybe a few that stood out or that were a little distracting or were maybe not executed in just the right way, but most of the song choices at the very least I'm very much behind, and there were definitely a few sequences that like hit. I think the opening sequence with the military, Getting Away with Murder, that was the song there. There's like a big Virgil fight to the tune of Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. That one was also really good.
It shockingly worked. That's normally a
Oh my
song I
god.
hear and I was like, oh, that's pretty
Skater Boy
cheesy.
by Avril Lavigne. Let's go. That was peak. That was peak. That was so good, and
Yeah.
it's so cute too. It's like
We
like a
all
cute, like poppy, like Dante and Lady hanging out with the baby child. It's so good.
I'll also have it be known, we also literally the other day were watching AMVs
We did
of
that.
well
That was
not
a coincidence.
AMVs.
We found like
Yeah.
a really great someone doing like
Old
mashup
music
edits,
comp.
yeah,
Yeah.
of like some songs to Skater Boy. It was great.
Yeah. Complete coincidence, but I find it fun.
Yeah, I think we're gonna rewatch that, right? Probably after this. I assume we're gonna wrap up kind of soon. I think we're running out of points here.
Yeah,
The
I feel like
new
the main points
yeah.
to talk about was Dante Virtual, Dante Lady.
Yeah, and we got through those, and now it's just kind of like, well, we're just kind of waiting to see because the season it ends on like the saddest possible thing of Dante, being ejected from Makai by his brother, being left
His brother
alone,
choosing Makai.
him unsure if Virgil is alive or dead, the like lady literally running off on him to go kill her dad,
The
and
Dear John's letter.
he's literally alone, collapsed in a crater, covered in blood. The medallion like cracking in two into the two separate shapes. Very symbolic. He's crying, and then it cuts to credits. End of season. This is the saddest man on the planet. Holy
I'll
shit!
have it be known he is literally in a worse place off than when he started this series. Because
Literally,
he
yes.
connected with people and lost them.
Literally, yes. But that does kind of feed into this whole thing of like, okay, this is the middle act, right? This is the middle act to what will hopefully be a more positive third season coming up, in which more of these might get resolved, and Dante maybe will be less so fucking lonely. But like right, it is the sad middle act. It is the Empire Strikes Back. It is the Earth Kingdom saga, Avatar, etc., whatever you
Yeah,
want to call it.
crap. What was the phrase? The dark before dawn, something like that.
Yes, which also means that right now, and this is what I always like to stress, especially with shows like this, we're still not dealing with a complete story, and I don't like judging stories that are not complete. I think that you can, and I see it all the time, people jumping to conclusions, and it turns out all they had to do was like be a little bit patient, you know.
They just had to wait for season 3,
I'll
which
see
is hopefully going to come out.
I'll see people even just episode to episode doing shit like that, just like jumping to conclusions, and then the next episode comes out, and it turns out they just needed to wait like 5 seconds. See it all the fucking time. Let me see. Connection? We're good. Okay. Like, I'll see it constantly, and it's always frustrating. You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
It's just I haven't exactly seen that, so I can't exactly comment on, oh yeah, I was seeing people doing this or that.
People.
It's just like I haven't interacted with people making assumption or views on things a lot. I don't know, does Danny Mata count?
I mean, Danny Mata complains about people that do that. Is the thing. I've seen him complain about it. No, I mean, it's not even that people's attention spans are getting smaller, but this is something that I have. I like. I like did like a small short about like about the Lilo and Stitch movie that was basically to me everything that I ever needed to say about this, which is that I'm getting irritated that it feels like everyone has to have a take on like literally everything that ever comes out ever. Right? It's why
Yeah.
I don't do these really timely reviews all that often unless it's something that I think we can talk about a lot.
Or we'll just have fun with.
Yeah. So it's like you don't need to have a take on everything all the time. You don't need to come out with, you can just be patient, hold on to it. Hold on to your thoughts a little bit,
What was
wait.
your take on the Super Mario Galaxy movie?
Didn't
That's
see
something
it.
that
Don't
needs
give
a
a
take.
single shit. Right, and you don't need to watch everything that comes out either, right? Because that's also how like these really horrible poppy movies like the live action Lilo and Stitch movie end up doing so well at the box office, because everyone feels like they need to go see it. Everyone feels like they need to go give their 5 fucking worthless cents on it. You don't. You can mind your own goddamn business sometimes. It's a virtue, I promise. But I was actually really looking forward to this one, and I it did not disappoint. This to me is, for me, the platonic ideal of a 7 out of 10 that is that appeals to me personally. You know, the 7 out of 10 that to you feels like a 9 because it hits so many things that you like to see in media.
Yeah, if we put biases aside, it's like 7. Well, like with biases, it's getting raised.
With biases, it's a 9 for me. Without the biases, this is a 7 or a 6. And so this is why, like, give it a chance, give it a watch. It's also another thing I find all the time, right? Like, don't. This is also why I say don't mind scores, don't mind IMDb scores, don't mind Rotten Tomato scores most of the time. Just if something looks interesting to you, just give it a shot, and you might find something that is genuinely special, because nothing feels better than finding a 7 out of 10 that feels like your shit, right? Like, nothing feels better than that. That's
It's your new thing to obsess
it
over.
might be the topic of my next video.
It's just what? Oh, oh no!
Oh no.
Whatever could it
Oh
be?
no, Astro Boy plug. Oh no.
Oh no! Subscribe to Lily Politor, YouTube.com.
Anyway, but yeah, I think I have all the notes about all the different stuff that happened in the plot. I'm uninterested in discussing these for the most part. There's a few fun things. Keith David plays a bit character. He is Keith David, so he's great as always. We get plenty of flashbacks with baby Dante and baby Virgil. Baby Dante at a couple different ages. We see like teenage Dante. He's fucking adorable. Yeah. I don't know.
I think the most interesting thing in terms of plot is there was that one half demon, half sapien clone woman, but I was mostly interested because I
She's the
just
mini boss.
appreciated the aesthetics.
Hot.
Oh yeah, she's the mini boss too. Yes,
Hot
Lily
bird
has
lady.
less shame than me.
Hot bird lady.
Yes, she was incredibly hot. Like
Yeah.
unbiased.
The specifics of the plot, I think, are mostly not
An
worth
avenue to
talking
explore
about.
characters.
Yeah, because it was the characters and the character explorations that I think we like the most. The plot, we can go through it. There's not really any surprises about it. There are so few surprises to it where I think we kept on expecting. We kept on theorizing about potential surprises that were gonna come. You know, like maybe Mundus and Arius are actually working together. Wouldn't that be an interesting twist? Oh, maybe maybe Arius and Argisax, like this and that. It's more or less exactly what you'd expect it to be. Not too many big surprises, honestly, at the end of the day. Like, yep, Mundus still killed Ava. Yep, framed Argisax for that, just like you would have expected if you never even watched a single episode of the season. Like we already knew that he did that. If anything, they just like kind of try and swerve left there, saying maybe he didn't. No, he did. Like, yeah. And that's a lot. It's like a lot of the plot. It's just kind of like, again, deceptively.
Also, them doing that was kind of more furthering the point of like, Virgil is lied to. We're gonna focus mostly on Virgil angst.
The plot itself deceptively simple. Somehow, though, still Arius's plan feels quite convoluted. Something reincarnation. Something
we don't care. Show us the brothers.
Yeah. They have a whole backstory. You don't give a shit. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's kind of where I say, the main plot not worth discussing in such depth because I think we're just gonna get bored, if we do so much more. But that's not really why you're watching this season. You watch,
well, at least for us.
You watch for the delicious angst is why you watch, of which there is plenty, on offer.
Yes. Or you watch just because you're already watched season 1. You're like, well, I gotta watch season 2. These idiots online said watch it, so I'm watching it.
If you watch season 2 and you've liked it even just a little, I think there's no reason to not continue on. I think this is a perfectly fine continuation. Really, I really cannot find anything glaringly wrong with it. And again, after watching it twice, I liked it better on the second viewing. So I wonder even how I'll like it once I've had a week or two to ruminate on it and maybe even watch it a third time for whenever season 3 drops. I wonder, are they already sure on that, or let's see. Do a quick search. Let's see. Any confirmation here? I mean, I'm just wondering if they maybe did a no confirmation. Possibly season 3 might already be in the works, so they just might not have confirmed it. And considering how quickly season 2, again, it was like a year. I don't think you understand how fucking fast that is for a show that looks like this. That means they were definitely working on some shit simultaneously. So I would not be surprised if the season 3 script is like already done.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
They're just waiting for the animation budget approval to come through. Especially since this seems to more or less be the brainchild of the executive producer, Adi Shankar. Let me see. Yeah, Adi Shankar, who, oh my god, I hesitate to even mention his name because holy shit, people are being so weird about him in particular in a way that, like, let's just be real, is like getting a little racist.
Gross.
Yeah.
I hate people.
Yeah. It's like not all of them are being weird and racist about it, but some of them are, and it's really not making any of you guys look very good.
And I'm assuming some criticism is just thinly veiled excuses to criticize.
Yeah. Where it's kind of like, I don't know, a lot of it is look at my Vivzy Pop video as to why that's cringe. But yeah, I don't know. Don't be weird and parasocial about creators that made things that you feel like you don't like. I assume that all the people who do that seriously are like either 12 or just broken somehow.
And if that's the case, what I have to recommend to you is go to youtube.com, look up Steven Universe Racism Bad, and then just keep watching that until your brain is fixed.
Anyway. With that, like, I don't know. I think see you next year. I think see you next year.
Or alternatively, if it is delayed a little bit, which I really don't think it will be.
But
yeah, but basically whenever the next season comes out.
Yeah, I think we'll be back. I like watching it. I like watching it with you, Luck. Maybe not quite to the level of quick turnaround we got with this one. We might give it, a little.
Yeah,
longer.
Last time we let it cook a little. We didn't cram it into a day.
This time we watched it. We watched it like one evening and then immediately pretty much sat down to do this. I will, if anything, try to even have the VOD up on the other channel like by tomorrow. So there's as little gap as possible. But yeah, we'll like give it a little more time next time probably. But I don't know. I wanted to watch it so bad. I wanted to watch it real bad, and now I did, and now I have to get back to the Astro Boy essay tomorrow, which is I have good progress on, but it just
it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm on the final draft for it, so at this point I'm just refining shit. So yeah, I just gotta like work out some stuff, and then I can hopefully sit down to record. And once recording starts, it's really only the matter. It's really like by then it's only the matter of a couple days, and we'll usually get through. The editing for these takes time generally because I have a certain mental standard for my videos.
Yeah. Well then, shall I give the outro?
Yep.
Well then, lurkers, chatters, here for a little, here for a while. I thank you all the same. This is Luck, powering off. And remember, everyone, lucky days.
And 3, 2, 1.
Good night.